and he was hesitant. And I took a lot. I have to tell you, I'm getting so much value from the boot camp.
Good.
He finally today made the commitment. So we signed him today, finally. And this has been about, but it took me close to 4 months. 4 months back and forth conversation.
The longest one person took me was 5 years. So Diana, I'm just letting you know, sometimes they take a while. And that's why what I'm gonna share with you guys is I hit the record button so that we can record this and look at this or share some of the ideas that we share today later. But this is part of your strategy. So when you look at your calendar of being a team leader, you obviously have some time where you're lead generating and you're networking and you're calling. But do you have dedicated time a couple times a week where you're actually looking at the list of people that you're stalking, basically, and that you're touching base with them, that you're sending texts, that you're sending invitations? Because I'll tell you, the biggest thing I see people struggling with that haven't maybe recruited a lot of R2s regularly or consistently is that you guys aren't following up and nudging on them nearly enough. And so one of the things that we uncovered in that boot camp was that most of you kind of follow up with people, but not really. And the truth is, once you get a conversation going with someone, you've got to poke them like once a week. Seriously. Now, and they're also going to ignore you most of the time. And it has to be that frequently because they are ignoring you most of the time. And you've got to going in momentum, or at least keep them in neutral with you so that you don't lose momentum with them. And so that's one thing I do want to bring up. Jessica?
Yes. So I'm a PC and my TL is pretty new. And so I just, I've been doing the boot camp and I had some thoughts as to why I couldn't be making calls and all the things, right? And I ended up coming up with an idea with another agent. So I started just reaching out to people I know through the chamber, and I set like 5 R2 appointments. And I'm like, my OP's like, that's an R2. I was like, okay, like, and right, that doesn't matter. So what I said to one of them today was, what if we had like a networking group? Because that is the thing that I love. My passion is networking and helping people out. And she's been in the business for 25 years. And she's like, you know what? We used to have that and we don't have it anymore. Nobody gets together. We never have any events where all the agents get together. That's what we need. And I'm like, oh my gosh, gold mine, right? And then eventually, they see me, I'm putting this together, item of value, right? And eventually if they need to come this direction, they can, right? But it's a huge thing that and new agents are like, why would we do that? Why would we meet with other agents? And I'm like, because you're across the table from them doing business and you want to know them, so it's like a whole different mindset shift that I'm going to completely capitalize on.
Well, and I've got another client in Oklahoma, Mary Syme. She is doing the Women of Real Estate, and she's got some really high power lenders, title people, an attorney, and only invited elite realtors, and it's got like major swagger. So again, that's not a bad idea. So what I do want to, with the time that we have, because we don't have a ton of time, and I've got a lot I want to share with you. I put in the chat for those of you that aren't in Recruiting Skills Bootcamp, kind of what we covered the other day that some of you are referencing, and it's basically if I started a conversation with you. So let's just pretend you're the recruit, I'm the team leader. I start a conversation with you. And I identify that you really don't want to move right now, which is fine, but that you really, you're working crazy hours. You're, barely, I think I'm having some Zoom problem here. Give me 1 sec. Hopefully I don't get bounced off. But I just went to nowhere land. But okay, I'm back. So what we're discovering is that you guys aren't nudging them enough so that you lose momentum with your pipeline. And you guys have to have a pipeline of like 50 people. If you want to start getting 2, 3, 4 R2s a month, sometimes they take 2 months, Diana. Sometimes they take 2 years. So I would challenge you guys to literally go to your calendar, and everyone that was nice enough to even talk with you at all, put them on a list and start nurturing like we're suggesting, like we put in the chat. Just start that, because that's part of your problem is you guys aren't just throwing things at people and giving them what they need. Now, let's talk about, so obviously the assumption we're going to have is that you at least had a conversation with these people. Otherwise, you're just marketing to them. You're not really nurturing them if you haven't had some sort of conversation. So let's assume you've had a conversation and you were able to identify something that they want to improve in their business. Or you could just use the shift assumption that, you know, they're nervous about the shift ahead. But the point is, you've got to be there. And I really would encourage you all just to start nurturing now weekly. If you haven't, just start everybody now. Don't worry about it. Don't think you need to do something special. Just start poking everybody. And what I would say is, if you don't know what someone's pain point is, yet maybe you had a nice interaction with them at their open house, or you went to a board event and you guys chatted a little, but you didn't really get into business, assume everybody has the same pain point of shift, because everyone's nervous about it. So you can kind of make that general assumption. Megan?
Hey, Jessica, would you recommend nurturing with phone calls or using smart plans in command, or what's the best way to systematize this? I did that as an agent, but as a newer team leader, I haven't been doing that at a high level.
Yeah, so Rich and I put together a really great kind of cadence for our class for Recruiting Skills Bootcamp. I'm just going to share right now. I did put it in the chat, but since I got pushed out of the Zoom, I don't know if it's still in the chat. But this shows it. So let's just say you're the agent and your pain point is time. These are all different things that you can suggest doing with them, share with them, email them, or connect them to, or invite them to. So that could be in any order. It does not need to be a smart plan with this has to happen in the, no, it's just you're giving them stuff, because you know what? It doesn't matter what order, because Megan, if you're only looking at like 10 or 15% of the stuff I send you, it didn't matter if it was in order because they only saw so much of it. So it's really like taunting them. So like if I know you said you needed help and you wanted to hire an assistant, I'm gonna like send you the job descriptions. I'm not even gonna ask him like, and then I'm gonna call you and say, hey Megan, I know you were trying, or that you really wanted to get an assistant. So one of the things I did is I took the liberty and I emailed you all the job descriptions. And one of the exercises I do with my own agents is identify what they want their new hire to do. I'd love to do that with you too. Do you want to grab some coffee? Do you want to go through that? And I'd also love to show you how we train these people. So I'm like putting myself in front of you. Now, you're going to respond to me or not, but I'm not going to be offended either way. Okay. Yet if you're smart about like command, what you can do is you can tag your database, everybody that you're chatting with, you guys, with the pain points, like tag them like for example, if assistant, you know, or transaction coordinator or leads for my team. If you uncover something and you just tag your database with their pain point, you can quickly see everyone that needs to hire someone, or everyone that's really going to be more into the tech, or everyone that might be into luxury or whatever. And what's cool about it is if I have a class coming up on like how to hire an assistant or career visioning or whatever, or I have an agent that just did this successfully, I'm going to go back to that database, look up who's tagged that, and I'm going to say, oh my gosh, I just helped someone else hire an assistant. I'd love for you to meet Diana. And you can pick her brain on how she did it. I'll have her call you. And I'm also going to then text maybe a day later and say, hey, I don't know if you're connected with Diana, but we have additional candidates. Are you still hiring? So I'm like taunting, basically. And I'm going to do that every week with something. It might be a video message. It might be just an invitation to something. And yet it's going to be back to what matters to you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's really helpful and awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, because you don't need many smart plans. It's leads, listings, leverage. It's pretty simple, right? And the cool common denominator everyone has right now is shift. So, and everybody's a little nervous about what is the market going to do? How hard is it going to hit our area? And you guys have to remember 8 out of 10 agents in your local MLS have not been through one. So they're a little nervous, and so if you don't know, that is a great topic to push in on. So again, just start nurturing more than you feel is proper because it works. And that if you're doing that with like 50 people, 75 people, whatever, you can see how you can get 3, 5 a month just popping because they don't always pop when you think they're going to. So for some of you, you want this to happen faster. That means you've got to be talking to more people, bottom line, because you're not going to change their motivation. Now, the good news is with the market ahead, small brokerages make changes and unprofitable brokerages close doors. Word on the street is Compass is being sold right now. And that it's going to happen before the end of the year because they are out of money. And the word on the street that I heard is it's a company that we all know. And it's not the same model. So all those Compass people are going to be bought and put into a different company without any opinion of the matter. And it's a company that doesn't match why they joined Compass. So it should be very interesting. So there's going to be a lot of blood on the streets ahead. And you guys just need to make as many friends as possible right now because people are going to be moving like crazy. And a really strong script to reactivate these conversations. The one that we're having the most success with is this. So get your pens and pencils ready. With the uncertainty in the market ahead, I'd love to meet with you and share what we're putting together for our agents to shift-proof their business. And I'd like to present an offer to you for you to consider for your plan B in case your brokerage makes any changes that are not favorable to you. As a business professional, you should have a strong plan B worked out. It's a really, really direct approach. It can be a text, it could be a call, it could be a voicemail. It's a mofer. I went to my investors and they gave me permission to give you an offer. And I want to present it to you. And I know you're not interested in making a move. However, this offer is good till the end of the year. In case your broker has to make changes that aren't favorable to you in the market ahead. Again, that's a couple different ways of saying it, but it's waking up people's pipelines big time because people are nervous and they are curious about your offer. Now they're gonna say, send me your offer. Say, heck no, I can't put this in the internet and other people's hands. I need to go through this with you confidentially. And you get them in front of you. You might have to go to their home or they might come to your office or they might meet you somewhere that they're comfortable with, but you're not going to send them anything. You're not going to do that. You're going to get them in front of you. So that's a great beehive kicker, I call it. That's like kicking the beehive to your whole database at once is that. So I've got James and then Megan.
Hey, first of all, let's say thank you for having this. I'm new to real estate, 6 months, 9 months in, TL for 2 months. So what my concern is trying to bring value as a new agent / TL. How do I do that?
Well, our company has the value. It's not you. You don't sell you sell our value, our models. So we just need to teach you what those value props are because it's not about the money, it's the money and. So James, just shoot me an email at jessicafox@kdub.com and I'll circle back to you and give you some of this. Because it's not about us pitching us. And it's really not about us pitching anything, to be honest with you. It's about asking great questions about their business and then showing them the tool or resource we have to ante up their business. Now, I'm going to give a shout out to one of my clients, Maria. She said I could share this with you guys. I gave her my coaching book, my manual. I think I gave it to most of you that are in the class. And it's just a flip book I have that basically is all the models of KW. that you can go through and teach someone or review. So I'll be sure to get that to you, James. And yet Maria one-upped me. So I asked her if I could show it to you guys today, and she said yes. So I want to show you this. I'm going to first put it in the chat so you guys can all open this. And this is how she's getting people to move. That's why I want to, more than anything, the reason why I want to show you this is how she's getting people to move. You got to remember why people don't move. So before we dive into this, why don't people move? Okay, well, we could all yell them out. Fear of change. Not wanting to break up with their broker. Not knowing if really this change is really going to give them what they need. Relationships. Basically, those are the big ones. Is there anything else you guys would add into that?
Maybe if they were at 100% company, you know,
Yeah,
being
like, why would I start
careful.
something, right? Okay, bring that one back up if we have time. What Maria's doing in this, and I'm going to screen share real quick, is she's painting a picture of what it's going to be like when she helps them with their business. She even has herself on the cover, like the MREA business makeover. I think it's super cute. And it really does show our models. So this is the stuff, was it James, I think, that we'd want to be able to share. And you put this in front of someone and they're like, dang, I just got in front of an MBA in real estate and they're showing me how to run my business. They don't know this. They've never seen this. They don't even know this exists. They're all just entrepreneurs, wild entrepreneurs out there. And so when you start showing things like this to people, they make a move. In addition to that, you've got to introduce them to people they're going to like at your brokerage. They're stuck at their old brokerage sometimes just because of friends. So during the process of recruiting, you want to make a point to introduce them to like 3+ people in your world that are role modeling what they want, that are great ambassadors, so that they have new friends that they're making, so they'll make the move. So if you can show what you're going to do, like Maria did here, and put it in front of, now she gives this out like candy. She can, because no one knows how to implement it at her brokerage. So it's like hieroglyphics to them, right? But yet look at how much she's leveling up in front of them. And she's, you know, calling it, and she's taking away that dread and fear because she's showing what they're going to do. Okay. Megan, and then Kier.
Okay, so when your prospect accepts your MOFR, like appointment and meeting, are we going right into a needs analysis to identify additional pain for follow-up and then presenting them with our offer?
Yes, but you probably should have gotten something already. So,
Okay.
you know, so let's just say you and I were chatting at a women's council lunch or something. We're in a social setting. This is not an official appointment. And we're just chatting and you say, oh my gosh, my assistant of 10 years is having baby number 3 and I don't think she's coming back. And, you know, just like life. Or, oh my gosh, after COVID, I just can't get my transaction coordinator to really work with me. I need somebody else, or whatever. They're going to say something, right?
Right.
You don't know everything about their business, and yet you know enough probably to taunt them to meet with you.
Mhm.
Okay. At that point, Megan, I'm going to say, hey, before we dive into this, I'd just love to spend, you know, 15 or 20 minutes to get to know a little bit more about you and your business. And I'm going to do a super duper quick needs analysis. So let me ask you this, Megan, with the rest of the year, what do you want to accomplish with your business? And we don't have time to go through all this now, but I'm going to get enough and say, you know, I'd love to present an offer to you, and I want to make sure I'm not missing anything. What else is important to you? So I'm going to get enough so that I can pack that offer with the value props that you need.
Beautiful.
And then I'm going to be able to show the value props through either introducing you to agents that are role models. I'm going to show you different models that we have, like the 36 touch to get a 10% return out of your database. Or I might even show you a little bit of command, but I'm really going to try to wrap it up in one conversation if I can. Now, like most, you're going to say, maybe at the end of the year. Well, I'm going to taunt you every week around this stuff forever until you move. And you know what? They say it at the end of the year. Often it's, okay, 1 week later or 3 weeks later. Don't fight them on that. You'll
It
lose.
seems like a way more fun way to go about it as well, instead of always starting with new people, new people, new people, new people, like new
Well, you know, the
prospects.
market ahead,
Then
we don't know if they'll even make it in the market ahead, and the people that we're talking to that are R2s, we can actually do more with them. The models matter to them. New people are just like, I don't even know what this means. So keep that in mind. Okay, Kier, did I say it right this time?
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Yes. So first and foremost, thank you for taking this opportunity to do this class with us. Really appreciate it. So two things. The MOFR, can you post it in the recruiting group Facebook page?
I can put a bunch of them. I've got so many mofers in this brain of mine.
Yeah, I want all your MOFRs. I want all of them. Overwhelm us all with your MOFRs. We would love that.
And I want to go through a whole bunch of them. So if someone wants to type them in, because my assistant was not available, I gave Sheila the day off. Don't ever give your cyberbacker a day off. I swear to God, I forgot how to do anything without her. But if someone wants to be sweet enough to just type in some of these, go through, great. I'll speed wrap through a whole bunch of them for you guys. So first things first, I want you all to start following up like crazy ninjas, way more than you think is appropriate, because the taunts are what get them to move faster. And again, they don't want to move, so their arms are up. You also need to make them buddies. Who are you introducing them to at your office? Who are your region, nationally? You know, how are you getting them sticky to you? You know, you can't be the only relationship. You shouldn't be. You know, and hopefully you already have someone in your office that knows or likes them that you work the buddy system out. And don't just introduce them to one, introduce them to several, because they might not like the person you introduced them to. You never know. Gotta be careful. I've done that before. So here are some of them. So how to restart the conversation. A great way, if you have broker metrics or something like that, is to bring it up and email it to them and say, I was thinking of you. I have a really cool strategy that I was sharing with my top agents. They're loving it. I'd love to share it with you as well. When do you have 15 minutes for me? That's one. That's an easy one. Now, if you send that out to 100 people, you'll probably start only 10 conversations. So have reasonable expectations, you guys. Don't send this to 4 people. Send it to 100. Really. And you know what? This is something your front desk could do for you, because you just have to tell them to open my email, do this, and say this. This doesn't have to be you. And yet you're looking for the responses. So broker metrics, email it to them. Thank you, Megan, for saying that, for typing that out. Really effective approach is to text a question. People have a hard time not answering a question. I'm not saying text a whole hi, how are you doing? It's been too long. No, ask a single question. So let's go back to the example where Megan needs an executive assistant. And let's just say you're all in my database and I have you tagged as assistant. I'm going to text all of you. Are you still looking for an assistant? ? That's it. I'm just trying to get a response. Now, I'm not going to say I might have one for you. I'm just going to ask you, are you still looking? And I'm going to say, we have several now, if you say yes, say great, I have several candidates and you owe me coffee. I've been following up and you haven't been responding. When are you buying me some coffee so I can show you some of our candidates? Now, inevitably they're thinking, I don't want obligation with this person. So you want to run at that. Just know they don't want to be obligated. Say, no strings attached. We've got extra candidates. I helped 2 agents in my own office hire this month. I would love to help you as well. You buy me coffee then. How about that? And again, that is a great way to kind of get them going again. If you know a pain point. So are you still looking for scalable leads for your team? That's another one. Do you have a strong plan for the market shift so that you are you aware of the opportunity in the market right now with the shift? Do you know about the baby boomer investor opportunity in the shift? Do you know about the forever home buyer opportunity in the shift? Those are all questions I would text. So texting a question is just human nature. People hate having that hung in their text inbox too with a an unresponded text. It just kind of taunts people. Anyone else have any success with any cool texts?
What day's your wealth building class?
Oh yeah, Drew, you told me about this. You got to recruit with this one, didn't you?
Yeah, all the 100% brokerages that are in my area, I develop a relationship and then I ask, what day's your wealth building class? Because my OP is a wealth building class quarterly for us.
You know, I just thought of one that might be real. It's kind of a risky one, but I like taking risks. What if you, for the 100% companies, you guys, asked if your company closes, which brokerage are you considering moving to? I would ask that one. If Compass sells, where will you go? That's kind of sassy, but you know, just think about it. There's, and I kind of shared this with some of you, so I don't want to be redundant, but there's this brokerage in my area called Charles Ruttenberg. I call it Chuck Rutt. It's a $300 a month brokerage, no other fee. And they had 3,000 agents last time I looked. So you do the math, $300 from 3,000 agents is $900,000 a month that this brokerage is making, you guys. But when I looked at them the other day on Broker Metrics, they only have 211 agents that would be considered a $2 million or more producer. That's it. So if the market hits hard, and there's only 211 of them that survive, they're now making 63,000, not 900,000. So it's a really fun exercise to do to those agents. Say, so let me ask you this, if your broker's making $900,000 doing nothing for you, but you're barely paying anything, and now he only makes 63,000, do you think he's staying open, or do you think the model might change? You know, the first brokerages to fall in the market ahead are those that aren't profitable and those that are cheap shops. So assuming your brokerage makes a change that's unfavorable, I'd love to be your plan B. That's a script, that's a close. Show this to your agents. Do that exercise to your agents right now, just for retention, you guys, because if they're struggling, they're gonna look for a cheaper option, right? Many do. But if they know that the cheaper option is one of the first that will probably close or change, they won't. Something to think about. Sherry.
Hey, Jessica. So I just thought of something and I'd love your opinion on it. What if you sent a text that said, are you going to be part of the 52% of the agents that make it through the shift?
Yes. What's your plan to be part of the 52? Now this visual aid, if you just Google NAR realtors during crash, this image is really powerful because it shows how that as the market crashed, how the agent count just dropped. It's like 48%, bam, right there. But I like that. I like that. Another great one is to take your list. Say you have 100 people you're talking to. Take your list and sit down with a couple key agents. Say, who do you know on this? Because these are the people I'm working on closing before the end of the year. And have a couple of your influencers help you by reaching out to those agents. Have them call about a listing and just get a realtor conversation going on and saying, and have them help you, you know, with saying, hey, you know, you're a really great agent. Have you ever considered taking a look at us? And they'll give intel to this other agent, like, I am, but you know, my broker's got this deal, or they'll get you intel that can be valuable and they can help you close, but it's also that friend that can help you bring them to the finish line. There's so much power in them having a buddy, I gotta tell you. So I'd even make that part of your transition, your checklist of follow-up is, who am I introducing them to? You know, and, you know, reach out to your agent and say, hey, Crystal, would you mind calling James? I know you did a deal with him, and would you just, you know, chat with him a little, see how he's doing with his business, and invite him to that mastermind we're having next week? And, you know, inevitably, Crystal, like, sure, I'm going, I'll invite him. And you have no idea what that will do in terms of moving people faster. It's amazing. So keep that in mind. Crystal.
So right at the beginning of you giving us all of these great MOFers, the first one you said, a whole bunch of us didn't capture it. It's where you started with the uncertainty in the market. something, something, something. I'd love to present you an offer as a business. Can you run that again? Because we're all just dying to get it.
My great assistant, if I remind to tell her, I'll ask her to dictate that and get that to everyone that was attending. How about that? Because it's so simple. I've said it like 1,000 times. I don't have it written down, but I'll go through it again. With the uncertainty in the market ahead, many brokers are going to have to make tough choices to maintain profit. And they're going to have to sell, merge, change their deals, you know, and truth is, Keller Williams was built for this next market. So I'm already on a different script on you. So we'll have Sheila go back and do it more succinctly. But basically, it's with the uncertainty in the market ahead, as a business professional, you really owe it to yourself and your family to have a strong plan B. And the truth is, the brokerage model that you're at is the first brokerage to really have to make changes in order to maintain profitability in the market ahead. Assuming your broker sells, merges, changes the deal in a way that's unfavorable to you, I would love to earn your plan B. And Keller Williams has created a new strategy for the market ahead to ensure that our agents not only thrive, but they can choose whatever model makes sense for them in the future. Keller Williams has changed their model from when you saw it last. I'd love to show it to you now. And that's the other way. I love telling them that we have like an umbrella. We have the EXP model. We have the Berkshire Hathaway model. Whatever company they're at, I'm like, we have your model now. You should check it out. Because if they're at Berkshire Hathaway, that's the dependent model, right? If they're at EXP, that's our digital model or expansion model. If they're at Compass, our concierge services, if you have them, that's your model. We have the Compass model now. We've evolved. You should check it out. I'd love to be your plan B in case your broker makes any changes that aren't favorable for you. So that's kind of it. But we'll have Sheila go in and help us kind of dictate that. And what is always your close? So we taught this in last week's recruiting skills boot camp this week of having a triple close whenever so that you continue to lead the conversation and you actually have a reason to nurture. So let's just say, Crystal, you have no interest in joining, but you kind of like the conversation. Okay. You guys are good enough. I know all of you are good enough to kind of get a conversation going with people. And yet I think we try too hard to close in some ways because most people aren't quite ready to make the move. You know, they don't even know what to expect. They didn't even think that this conversation was going to evolve this much. So sometimes slowing down a little actually speeds you up. And I love to say, you know, hey, Crystal, I know you have no interest in making a move right now. And I know you're pretty tight with your office and your broker. However, with the uncertainty in the market ahead, would it be okay if maybe I did some coaching with you around helping you get this assistant? Would you be open to that?
I would, as long as it wasn't wasting your time. And, you know, I am pretty busy too.
Sure. But, you know, you had mentioned to me that you're spending like 10 hours a week doing $20 an hour work, you know,
Right.
wasting $1,500 or $2,000 a week doing stuff you don't want to do. Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I feel really good about helping you. And this is what I do for all my agents. So it's really no bother. And I may even have like some extra candidates from the last group of hires we made. So all I would ask is, you know, if you know someone that would make a good fit for us at KW, just refer them to me. It mean the world to me. Does that sound fair?
Yeah, it does.
Okay, now let's just say she said no to that. She's like, you know what, Jess, I don't want to do it. So be tough on me. So
Okay.
what if we like did a little coaching together?
Oh, no, I get plenty of that where I'm at, and I don't have the time. Thank you, though.
Okay, well, here's the thing. I just helped Megan and Kier in our office hire. One was a TC, one was an assistant, but we found several great candidates. And I'd be more than happy to share them with you. Would you be willing just to go grab coffee and I can kind of hear a little bit more about what you're looking for and see if I've got someone that you might want to interview?
Nope, still, no.
Okay. Well, let me do this. I'm just going to follow up with you and stay in touch because I want to help you with this. And I know you owe it to you and your family back. And I know you're happy where you're at and you don't want to make a move, but you know, what better way to help you than helping you make this hire. So I'll stay in touch.
Yeah,
Now, I'm not-
that'd be good.
So you guys end up thinking, I'm not asking you, but I'm gonna close for them to move to KW if it's appropriate. If it is not, I am not gonna close right now, but I'm gonna close for you to coach with me every other week or every week. Or I'm gonna close for you to come to this class that I have. Or I'm gonna close for you to meet Megan for coffee. Or I'm gonna close and say, hey, take Megan's call. She just hired someone and she said she has a ton of talent. She might have someone for you. I'll have her call you.
And I think if I can interject, you, when during your class, it was to join for one-on-one coaching or to nurture, and just going into an appointment, knowing that no matter how good or bad this goes, you know exactly one of three ways that it's going to end. It just brings like ease and comfort going into that appointment.
Well, and then you are leading what's next. It's not like you're just like, oh, we run into each other again, because it's like awkward when you leave it with nothing, right? And most of you kind of do by accident, because you're like, well, they didn't join us, now what? No. It's getting permission for them to stay engaged with you. Now, I think I'm already way over time. So if you guys need to jump off, I'll keep going for a little longer if you want, because one of the last ways I want to share is asking them for help. Wow, does this work, you guys? It's been nurturing someone for a long time. And you just say, hey, I need your help. Can you give me 15 minutes of your time? And most people say, yes, I'll help you. What do you need help with? And then you pick up the phone and you call them. So this is a text. And then you pick up the phone and call them. I'm looking for my next director of luxury. Now, you know, I've been trying to recruit you forever and you keep saying no to me, and you are my dream hire. However, who comes to mind as someone you respect as a luxury agent in our market? And you can get them to help you. But the thing is most of the time that will start a conversation again. So again, you could like, I'm looking for my director of commercial. I'm looking for my director of sports and entertainment, whatever. And most people will give recommendations to you. It's amazing how that works, but it's a good way to get the conversation going and relaunch. So just remember, thank you for putting that in the chat. Just remember that it's not bad to be closing these people. They're salespeople. They're expecting a close. So one of the things many people say at the end of the first conversation is to say, you know, I never thought this conversation would go so far, like go to where it has. And I know it's kind of unreasonable for me to think that you would join Keller Williams from one conversation, but I'm curious, based on our conversation today, what has intrigued you? I'm not going to close you to Keller Williams right now. I'm going to ask you what intrigued you. Great. And let me ask you this. What's one or two things you're working on in your business that I can continue to share resources around? Great. I'd love to stay in touch around this. Are you willing to meet with me maybe in a week? And maybe I could do a little coaching on this? Nope. Okay. Understand. Well, I've got a class coming up at the end of the month. I'm going to bug you about coming and joining us because I think it'll be great for you. I'll stay in touch. And that is how I'm going to end it. I'm not going to be like, do you mind if we stay in touch? No, I'm going to be assumptive and say, don't worry, I'll stay in touch. Now, the gal that took me the longest ever to hire, I listened to her recruit the other day. It was so cool. Her close is so cool. She goes, you know what? It took me 6 years to figure out Keller Williams. I was over at this other brokerage and I had an Indy and I went to Remax and then I finally figured this out. And I got to tell you, I'm never going to give up on you. That's her close. Isn't that cool? Because it's from the heart and it's just like, I'm never going to give up on you. And so everyone that she nurtures knows she's always just going to keep going and keep touching them. And you know what? She's bringing in 5 R2s on average every month because she's talking to about 100 people. So she spends 3 times more follow-up than lead gen. And you know what? Those people bring people. So I hope you got something good out of today. I know I went a little over on time. I apologize. I could talk about this all day, as you guys know. And, you know, if you do need any help, reach out. Rich and I really care about you guys. And for those of you in Recruiting Skills Bootcamp, if you've got some suggestions and what you need, please reach out because we love you. And talk to lots of people. just remember, there's gonna be massive movement. You're gonna kick yourself in the butt if you didn't talk to some people that made moves. And as soon as one person starts moving from a brokerage, you're gonna start seeing a lot of movement. So, you know, get on it, start having those conversations. And what I would say is just build your list and give everyone some nurture every week moving forward. Okay? Okay. If you need anything, reach out. Talk to you guys later. Have an awesome weekend.
Thank
Ta-ta.
you.